Hi, I'm Chad, and welcome to a video that I'm very excited to make. I've got a few exciting things going on today. First, I'm riding a motorcycle for the first time since I crashed 2.5 months ago and broke my collarbone in half and now have a titanium plate in it. In addition to that, I've got some new gloves here, but the thing that I am most excited about and what we will be talking about today is what this new SC Project SC1-R exhaust is like. That is right, I have finally abandoned my CRT. I got to the point where I was thinking about how much I did not enjoy that exhaust when I was riding for any more than 20 or 30 minutes at a time, and a splurge since I've been saving so much money by not spending it on tires and race entry fees over the past couple months that I bought this. Now, I have started it up already just to check for exhaust leaks. Did that right after I installed it, but I've only ridden it up and down the street for a minute, literally a minute. Didn't go over 25 miles an hour or 4,000 RPM in first gear, and I haven't even really let the bike warm up with it on yet. So in today's video, I'm going to share my first impressions of what I think about the exhaust. We do have the Baffle in currently. If you come and see right there, little Baffle. So we're first going to be going for a ride with the Baffle in. Cold start, of course, before that. And then after the bike's cooled down, I'm going to take the Baffle out and we're going to go for another ride so that you can get another cold start without the Baffle in. And I'm just going to share what I think about it with you guys. So if you are in the market for an aftermarket exhaust for your Tuono, this could be a helpful video for you. But with that, let's go ahead and finally fire this baby up. Still love that animation. Oh, that is so much more tame than the CRT. I do ride with earplugs, have those in right now, so this is actually really nice. And as I noticed the first time I started it up, it actually doesn't sound too bad. It's not like super tinny, or it doesn't really sound like there's a baffle in there. It just sounds a little bit baffled, which is how it should sound. I've had poor experiences in the past with aftermarket exhausts on cars that have had removable baffles, where when you put the baffle in, it just kind of rattles in there. But that is not the case, or at least at idle so far, it's not the case with this one. But we will see as the bike warms up and we get going. Oh, I missed you, baby. Alright, so thus far it's actually really nice. It's very tame, and it sounds pretty good. I mean, I haven't gone over 4,000 RPM yet. I'm trying to get out of the neighborhood and let the bike warm up a bit, but this is nice. This sounds good. It's like I can still hear it, but it's not obnoxious. And we'll see how that changes as I get moving a little bit faster, but yeah, so far this is good. So I've noticed the pitch is a bit higher at these low engine speeds, quite a bit higher than the CRT that was on my bike previously. That thing was just guttural and so loud and throaty, but this is pretty subdued and I like the pitch. I don't know how much of the pitch is because of the baffle rather than the exhaust itself. We'll find out eventually once I do take the baffle out, but for now, this is nice. I like this. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is I noticed that if I bring my right foot, ooh, that sounds good. Oh, that's nice, and it's not obnoxious. It sounds good, but it's like kind of quiet. I like it. I like it. What I was about to say though is the one thing that I am noticing that I'm a little concerned about is that my heel tends to rest on the exhaust itself. I don't know if you noticed when I was first starting the bike up, but the actual pipe, the muffler, is pretty close to the foot peg. And I'm a man of stature at 6'3". I have a size 14 foot, and I like to ride generally with the balls of my feet on the pegs, and I do sometimes feel like my heel is resting, especially if I scoot back in the seat a bit. I can feel my heel against the pipe. I have seen people rest their heel on not just this exhaust, but other exhaust systems on the Tuono, and end up leaving rubber from their boot on the pipe. It just melts over time and sticks to it, and I'd like to avoid that if possible. But this is really nice, actually. This is not obnoxious. It's very tame. Maybe a little too tame if I'm being honest, but this was part of the reason I ended up going for the SC1-R. Now let me talk about that real quick, because I did spend quite a bit of time debating over this, and was actually debating on what kind of an exhaust to replace my CRT with before I crashed at the racetrack in April. So when I bought this bike, it had an SC Project CRT. It had the shorty one too, which is just so loud. It sounds wicked, but I mean, it really is obnoxious. It is so unbelievably loud. I feel like I'm just going to end up repeating myself trying to describe how loud it is, because you really can't. You just have to hear it in person. But it would literally shake the ground beneath it at idle. It was wild. Oh, that sounds good. There were a handful of times where I rode just on the street with the CRT without earplugs, and went to go roll on the throttle, not even that hard, maybe like 50% throttle, maybe 60 at most, and went up over 6,000 RPM, and my ears would literally start crackling and hurt. That is definitely never going to be the case with this. Let's get on the freeway and see how it is under those sorts of conditions. Whee! Oh boy. Motorcycle. So you really can't even hear it on the freeway cruising. Now keep in mind I also have earplugs in, but I mean, this is really tame, in my opinion at least. I'm sure it's louder than the stock exhaust, but this is completely different from what I'm accustomed to with this bike. It is so quiet. Most of what I'm getting right now is wind noise. Yeah, this is actually like really pleasant. If I'm being totally honest. I don't know if I'm just getting grumpy in my old age of 30, but if I were going to go for a day ride, this would be really nice. It sounds good when you're at lower speeds, which is really the majority of the riding that I do with this bike. Accelerating, goofing around a little bit. Highway cruising isn't something I do so much, but even if I needed to get to like a nice mountain road, wouldn't be so bad. It's pretty good. But it is like, right now just cruising, I really can't, I can hardly hear the bike. It is so faint, but there it is. Yeah, the second you roll on the throttle, it makes a very nice sound. A very, very nice sound. Something else too, as far as the aesthetics of this exhaust go, I'm a big fan, and it's kind of funny because generally speaking, I don't like big bulky exhausts. I like exhausts that are low mounts, that are pretty subtle and discreet, that don't upset the lines of the bike. And I don't know why, but for some reason over the past like 6 months or so, I've just started to like the look of the race bike with the hanger off of the tail section. I really like that this isn't a big bulky muffler. It's a pretty attractive muffler. It is decent in size, but I really like the shape of it, the length. It looks good in my opinion, and it actually aligns pretty well with the tail section on the bike. So I don't feel like it upsets the lines at all. It actually kind of complements them. And the titanium against the polished aluminum swing arm looks awesome in my opinion as well. Yeah, this is wild. I'm on the freeway and I'm not deaf. Oh, it sounds good. Yeah, so far, even with the Baffle, I really like the sound. It is not tinny or rattly. It's a very clean and crisp sound. The pitch is very nice. And this actually sounds a lot more like what I would expect an Aprilia V4 to sound like with a pipe. There's this certain pitch that I think Aprilia V4s are known for. And this has more of that, especially at low RPM so far. Low and mid-range RPM. Now that I've scooted a little bit further forward in the seat, I'm actually able to keep my heel off the pipe pretty well too. So it's good. It's good. So it passes the highway test with flying colors. Not obnoxious when you're cruising. Can barely hear it. But being totally honest, I would like to hear it just a little bit more, I think, on the freeway. But at the same time, I can appreciate the lowered level of sound, just because if I were going to go for like a day ride or something, or like a long trip and be on the highway for a while, this is how I would want to do it. Oh, it feels so good to ride a motorcycle again. As per usual, all riding sequences of this video are computer simulations rendered by my proprietary virtual reality program. A computer simulation of what life might look like in my neck of the woods. Oh, that's good. Oh, this bike's so much fun, and I think this exhaust makes it a little bit more fun. It sounds awesome. It's not deafening. I could definitely see myself riding with the Baffle in certain circumstances. I have definitely left the heel print on the exhaust. I hope that doesn't burn into it. Oops. I'm sure it'll wipe off. Ooh, that does sound good. Alright, so now that we've got a good idea of what the SC1-R sounds like on the Tuono V4 with the Baffle in, let's go ahead and take it out. And we're back. Now, it is quite warm, so the water temperature is already at 97 degrees Fahrenheit. Not sure how cold of a cold start this will be, but should still sound good nonetheless. But real quick, just look at that. Oh, that's pretty. Okay. Little throatier for sure. That didn't sound like a big barking cold start though, so might have to do another one of these days and see how it sounds when it's really cold, if it ever gets that cold. It's 7:33 p.m. and like Still 90 degrees out. Alright, so SC Project SC1-R without the baffle. Cruising 25 miles an hour first gear through the neighborhood, about 4,000 RPM, and it's loud, but nothing like the CRT. I think part of that too is because the pipe's longer, so where the exhaust and sound is coming from is actually a little bit further away from my ear than it was with the CRT. So definitely changes the way the bike sounds to me while I'm on it. Again, I do wear earplugs every time I ride, so that is helping tremendously, I am sure. But comparing this to the CRT so far, because I would always wear earplugs with that exhaust as well, this is quite nice. It's like I can hear it clearly, but it's not killing my ears and making me totally embarrassed. Oh, that sure does sound good. Ooh. Just at 5,000 RPM with the quick shifter, my goodness. Yeah, I'm a fan. I really like this. This is nice. This is like what I was hoping this would be like, I think. For me, at least, as the rider. I'm sure it's a little obnoxious still to everybody else around me, but oh boy, does this sound great to me. This is really nice. I'm liking this so far. Fantastic tone at low RPM, low throttle position, and you can still hear it quite well. But again, I'm not embarrassed by it. Let's see what it is like on the highway. Body position. Yeah, no lean angle, but all of the BP. Yep, just like I said earlier when I had the Baffle in, I wish it was just a little bit louder in situations like this on the freeway. Got a lot of wind noise, my helmet's really cut through the air, and I could barely hear it at a cruising speed. But now, I can hear it quite well. Hello, friend. And it sounds smooth so far. I mean, I think I've only had it up to maybe 7,000 RPM, give or take, and certainly haven't gone wide open yet, but it sounds really nice. The tone is excellent. It is a little difficult for me to not compare this to the CRT, since that's really what I've known for the most of the time I have owned a Tuono. And I do just want to make this a little bit more about the exhaust on its own rather than comparing it to the CRT. That's not the purpose of this video, but it's like, this is the sound that I wanted this bike to make. It's loud, it's got presence, but it is at the same time sophisticated. It's like, man, I could cruise on the freeway all day and never feel like my ears are getting fatigued. I feel like, even I've been on the freeway for all of maybe like 5 minutes, but that's how I'm feeling so far. You can hear it just enough cruising to know that the bike is still running. It's not ear piercing. Nice. Thunder, baby, thunder. sounds so good. This is exactly what I was looking for, I think. Woo-hoo-hoo, it's nice. Oh, that's good. So, first impressions of the SC Project SC1-R. I like it. This is an awesome exhaust. I think it looks great personally. I think it sounds great. It's just the right amount of volume I think I was looking for. And it's nice that if I do want to ride in an area where I need to keep the bike a little quieter, I've got the Baffle to slide in, and it still sounds really good with the Baffle too. Definitely sounds better without it, but nice to have options and to not have to swap an entire exhaust if you want to quiet things down. So yeah, I like it so far, and I'm happy with my purchase. And shout out to CBC Moto, Joe Tillery on the Tuono V4 RSV4 owners group on Facebook. Thanks so much for getting this to me very quickly. I'm very happy. Happy customer. With that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. So thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, I would sincerely appreciate a gentle little click of the like button, and if you consider subscribing for more motorcycling content like this. And drop a comment below. What exhaust do you have on your Tuono or your motorcycle? Do you like the SC Project SC1-R? Do you not? Let's talk about it in the comments. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll hope to catch you in the next one. Until then, later. Whew.